Welcome back to Wilton Mill for the Cool FAB-Racing British Mini Bikes Championship. Always good to have BSB support and team managers here at the events. Earlier I spoke to Nigel Snook from FS3. His McLaren's in the TDI media colours. Does that mean I get to keep it? Nigel, great to see you here at the Cool Fab event this weekend. You own the FS3 team, so you're involved in British Superbikes. What are you doing here this weekend though?
Well, I'm supporting Crispin and the series, which I've got a lot of time for. Having had a background in education, seeing young people getting on well and progressing in the sport we love is really important. So some months ago, Crispin sidled up to me at the National Motorcycle Show, asked if I'd like to help, and it's been a pleasure to be involved.
Yeah, Crispin will do that to you when he sees somebody. And what have you made of the championship?
Well, it's fantastic, and I've got to meet a lot of interesting people, and as a result, through the team, we're giving a bit of support to Max Cook, whose father Adam helps run the unit for us. And it was a pleasure actually last week to see that come to a head, as I spent the day at the British Talent Cup selection and was delighted to see Max getting through. But the speed and the quality of the riding and the size of some of the youngsters is quite mind-blowing. Must scare their mothers to death.
It's an international championship this now, 615,000 viewers as things stand today for round 4. Round 5, not quite so many, but still approaching 200,000. So that the international nature of the championship, is that important? It's got to be important for sponsors. What about yourself?
Yeah, we get a lot of support from the trade. We get a lot of support from companies like Quattro Plant, who are our title sponsor. I think the profile of the team and the professionalism of the team is something that sponsors want to see in the background, particularly the mainstream commercial sponsors. They may not all have an international business, but they're involved in an international sport. And if it's professionally presented, as we've tried to do with the unit, and we've tried to do with our own social media work and website work, I think that can only be a strength.
Junior LC40s up next, also known as Mini Moto Elites. From as young as 7 years old, the riders on two-stroke liquid-cooled 40cc engines. Casey O'Gorman and Ross Maguire take up the front row of the grid, with Evan Belford and Bailey Stewart-Campbell on the second, with the Terminator, Ollie Walker, alongside Emmanuel Brinton. Connell, Stewart-Campbell, Bannister and Foster are rounding out the top 10, and we're under starters' orders. What a start from Casey O'Gorman. No surprises there, but Evan Belford creeping into second position there from third on the grid as they go through Oblivion and Crook up towards Manuel's Bank and on the run to Christmas. Good start from Belford.
Third in the championship, second on track as things stand at the moment. Long way to go, but Casey O'Gorman once again gets a lightning start, Jake.
Look at him, he's just gone. If he was a track runner, he'd be Usain Bolt. Look at him, he's absolutely flying away as they go through Ashby, up towards Parker once again. And Evan Belford and the rest of the field are just doing the best they can to stay in touch. Bailey Stewart-Campbell, third position, cracking start from him because he started fourth on the grid. So Ross Maguire dropping from the front row of the grid down to fourth position, desperately trying to get back into second place. But he's got a lot of work to do. Into the ankle as we watch from the drone. Fifth position is a good battle at the moment. Emmanuel Brinton in front of Ollie Terminator Walker. If Valentino Rossi is the doctor, from now on, folks, Ollie Walker is the Terminator. O'Gorman leads, Belford, Stewart-Campbell and Maguire, Brinton and Walker battling for fifth. Then Declan Connell is in seventh place, Josh Bannister is next, Johnny Garnis in ninth place. That looks like Charlie Tilley in 10th position in front of Mason Foster. I think it is, it's a pure red bike, and it looks like red numbers on a red bike. Warning for the future, folks. Light numbers on a dark bike or dark numbers on a light bike. It's not that complicated.
Always good for the commentators. We don't have live timing with us here, so we have to rely on the numbers on the bikes, and we can't always see them very well.
So down the hill, this battle for second position is really intensifying between Belford, Stewart-Campbell and Maguire. Maguire getting tightened up on the back of Stewart-Campbell's bike as we watch from the drone again into the ankle. These three have pulled well clear of the fifth position battle of Emmanuel Brinton and Ollie Walker. So as they come down out of the toe into the heel, things looking very good indeed for the man in second place. Belford trying to get clear of Stewart-Campbell and Maguire. Maguire has another look. We're just looking back down the outside of the top six. Declan Connell still there in seventh position. There he goes. Josh Bannister under some pressure now from Johnny Garnis. But here is the battle for second position. It looks as though Maguire's going to go for the move on the inside of Christmas. No, Stewart-Campbell holds him off. Very nice defending.
Once again, fantastic pictures from the drone as Maguire has another go in the right-hander at Inkermans, but can't get it done there either. The drone really does lay out the whole race for you. You can see where your favourite riders are as they go left-handed there through Parker, down to Chapman, the hairpin. Casey with a comfortable lead, but they're keeping him honest, to be fair.
Well, this is what happened in the other class, wasn't it? He was a country mile out in front and then he tripped over the traffic. And that is, of course, something he's got to be mindful of in this race. But he will have learnt from that. He's a very crafty rider, is Casey O'Gorman. He learns like a sponge. He saps everything in, takes it all in, and his riding develops. He's an incredibly intuitive racer. He's so good at developing and pushing even further. He just gets faster and faster, which is why he's able to pull out this kind of gap on three incredible young talents: Evan Belford, Bailey Stewart-Campbell and Ross Maguire. Let's not forget how good these riders are. So the fact that Casey O'Gorman is out in front by that advantage so early on into the race, that is truly exceptional.
Again, great picture from the drone as we chase him now up the straight into the left-hander at Parker. You're right, Jake, the riders behind Casey are extremely talented. He is an amazing natural talent, Casey O'Gorman, on that 7 bike. And you have to think at some point, well, we're certainly going to see him in BSB. We'll probably see him at world level, providing he gets the financial support. He will need financial support, as all of these riders will, to go that extra mile to world level.
Through Oblivion and through Crook. Very crafty battles from the riders so far in the early stages. There's only one bike there in 5th position. Now, has Brinton got rid of Ollie Walker for the moment, or is that Walker in 5th position? We'll try and pick it up in a moment. Good battle here for 3rd place. Emmanuel Brinton has stopped, that's why. So Emmanuel Brinton, unfortunately, has pulled off the road at Crook, and he's trying to get going. So that's Ollie Walker in 5th position on his own.
Yeah, Walker there, the Terminator, trying to close down this battle for 2nd place. And they are getting a little bit closer, I think, to Casey here. The lead he's got, he's basically developed this in the 1st lap and a half, and he's just maintaining it. They now have the same pace as Casey does out front, but they can't close him down.
Well, this is the thing. Casey O'Gorman doesn't need to pull away and dominate by, you know, multiple seconds. He just needs to keep the pace. He will have learnt from last time, as we said. He had a commanding victory on a plate there. And we've seen many riders in many championships lose it in the last couple of laps. I can recall a rider at Mugello years ago. He actually crossed the line and thought it was all over and backed out of it. That was not quite the same kind of mistake that Casey made, but he's going to learn from that. And look, he doesn't need to be a million miles out in front of these guys. He's just keeping the gap stable enough. He's just checking over his shoulder. Right, I can pull out a little bit more. I can give myself a little bit more time. He's being a little bit more conservative than he's been in other races this year, but that's because he doesn't have to be dominant.
And again, through this left-hander, they're a little bit closer than they were last time, but I'm not sure they're going to have enough time to close him completely. This is all about the battle, though, for 2nd, 3rd and 4th, and here they come down the inside straight into the ankle of the boot. This is the toe of the boot. You can see it from the drone, why we call it the boot, can't you? Ankle, toe, and then through the heel.
Right, Ross Maguire is obviously leaving it as late as possible to try and make a move on Bailey Stewart-Campbell for 3rd position. He's been watching his lines, looking at every single move he makes. You could just see Brinton's bike there parked up at Crook. You just saw it there in the background. Good battles further back in the pack as well, as they're trying to close up on this leading bunch. And there's some good scraps. That's Mason Foster trying to move up the order there as he tries to get there down the main straight. Look at the tight battle this for 2nd position as the riders come through again. Up towards Parker. Ross Maguire again trying to go on the inside of Bailey Stewart-Campbell as they drop down towards the next left-hander. Tight in there at Chapman. Good run off the acceleration there from Ross Maguire as they go down the back straight into the ankle of the boot. Left. Nice and easy, and Emmanuel Brinton, unfortunately, has tried to get the bike going, but he's had to give up the ghost. His race is over as they go into the final turn of the lap, and into the last lap we go. Casey O'Gorman has got enough of a lead to be comfortable. He doesn't need to be dominant. There is Emmanuel Brinton. Ollie Walker safe in 5th position as a result of his retirement. Here's the duel for 6. Declan Connell in front of Johnny Garnes and Josh Bannister there in 8th position. Side by side for 3rd into Christmas on the last lap. This is the duel between Bailey Stewart-Campbell and Ross Maguire. Maguire hasn't quite made it through into 3rd position, and they're tightening up on the man in 2nd place, Evan Belford. They go into Ashby. Bailey Stewart-Campbell's going to have to try and make an overtaking move on Belford just to try and hold off Ross Maguire. Battles very, very much intensifying on the last lap then. Up the inside, good defensive line from Belford. Bailey Stewart-Campbell can't get through there. That backs him into Ross Maguire once again, down the back straight. He defends nicely there on the inside of the ankle, but Casey O'Gorman makes up for earlier on. He's the championship leader in both this class and GP50, and he's back on top again. Well done, Casey. Masterful ride out in front, only winning by as much as he had to. Belford in second, Bailey Stewart-Campbell third, in front of Ross Maguire. Ollie Walker, the Terminator, lives to fight another day in fifth position. Good points in the bag for him. And sixth place, who's it going to be? Will Declan Connell hold on? I think Johnny Garnis is going to beat it to the line. Yes, he does. So Johnny Garnis gets there in front of Declan Connell and Josh Bannister. But there's your top five. Casey O'Gorman in front of Evan Belford, Bailey Stewart-Campbell, Ross Maguire and Ollie Walker. And after that victory, Casey O'Gorman continues his amazing run in this championship, extending his lead to well over 100 points from Maguire. Belford in third ahead of Bailey Stewart-Campbell, and Declan Connell rounds out the top five.